So Nintendo came out with a Nintendo Direct very recently, and it was kind of out of the blue, so I was not really expecting it. I was like reading up on Twitter, and it just like, Nintendo Direct today, and I was like, okay. But surprisingly, there were a lot of good games during this Nintendo Direct, and I'm actually surprised because in the last couple of Directs, I wasn't as stoked about it because like there weren't any titles that really like, oh my god, so good, except Earthbound from earlier this year. But there are so many games coming out that are like cozy, relaxing, as well as like story heavy and just like super exciting for me because I actually love a lot of the franchises that these games are from. So I'm absolutely stoked, and let's just go ahead and get started. So the first game that I'm really excited about is called Return to Monkey Island. If you know, you absolutely know. This is a cult classic. Series is called Monkey Island, and it's been out since like, I don't know, like maybe the 90s or something. Really long time, since before I was even born, I think. And it's one of my favorite series in terms of like point and click games. One of my favorite genres is point and click games, and some of my favorite point and click games are like Freddi Fish.
Something seems fishy here. But Freddi, we are fish.
Pajama Sam.
Right, I'm ready for action.
And creators of all these games is Ron Gilbert. He is the CEO of the Humongous Games, and he previously worked at Lucasfilms as a game developer. He developed this series of games called Monkey Island, and he also created Maniac Mansion. These are like absolutely iconic games. If you haven't played them, you definitely have to. Some of like the artwork between like each of the games do vary, but I definitely think for Return to Monkey Island, this game is going to be absolutely epic because this game has like such beautiful art that's like very reminiscent of like picture books, and I definitely think it will be more of like a cozier title. But please do note, there is like, it's kind of a quirky game. It's not like a normal cozy title. It is definitely like some funny humor, and does have some moon logic, meaning it will take some time for you to kind of like figure out some of like the trickier bits of the game. But honestly, Google's there for you, so it's not that bad. We might be able to like officially find out the secret of Monkey Island with Guybrush. The last like Monkey Island game that released was in 2010, so it's already been 12 years. So I'm absolutely stoked. I also heard about the Mega Man Battle Network series coming out to the Nintendo Switch as well, and I'm really excited because like on the interwebs, a lot of people are really excited about this like series of games because they absolutely love the humor, the story, and just like the artwork of this game. So I am absolutely stoked, and it definitely has the artwork, the vibe that I usually go for in games. So I'm very excited about it. It's like a whole series of games, so it is gonna be jam-packed. I don't know if I'm gonna have a life if I get this game. Blanc is a Nintendo Switch exclusive game about like these two little like cuties, one little fawn and one little puppy that have been separated from their families. So they're gonna go ahead and work together in order to like go back to their families. And it's just so wholesome because I love friendship in games. It's just like the bond that you create when you're like struggling together is just the absolute best. So RPG Time: The Legend of Wright is releasing on August 18, and it is quite a unique game. I love it because it really reminds me of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. You know, if you've read that as a kid, you know like there's like some hand-drawn like illustrations going on, and this really gives me that vibes because there are a lot of hand-drawn elements to this game and very unique imagery. So there's like a lot of books opening, drawings going about, and you just kind of follow the story that this child named Kenta writes as he writes this story about his character, Wright. So Kenta wants to be a game developer, and he's like creating this story. It's a very generic story about this guy who goes ahead and saves like the princess, but it is a very charming story, and I'm super excited, especially because the gameplay. I want to learn more about Kenta. I want to learn more about Wright. I want to see if he saves the princess, if there's a twist. Dragon Quest Treasures is releasing on December 9th, and I'm not gonna say excited because I say that too much, but I am definitely stoked about it coming out because I absolutely love the Dragon Quest series. I started off with Dragon Quest 8, 7. I'll put it on the screen.
Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age.
And that was I have to say, pretty epic. This game is about two siblings who are treasure hunters. It's very similar to like Pokemon in that you have monsters that you collect and fight with. Hopefully there's a little bit more depth to the story rather than just like them being simply treasure hunters. So there's a new Doraemon Story of Seasons games coming out. I absolutely love Doraemon's Story of Seasons games, but I know some people are not so keen on it because it can be kind of slow for some people, but I genuinely like it because it is slower, and that's what makes it perfect for when you're like dead to ass tired and you just want to relax. This game is absolutely perfect. The gorgeous art really sets the tone of it being scenic, beautiful, and it gives me like Ghibli-esque vibes. It follows the story of Doraemon and his groups of friends. They travel to an unknown planet and help out a new friend by farming, which is really hilarious. It's kind of like the same premise as the previous game, except you don't like randomly plop in the middle of nowhere. But actually, no, you kind of do plop in the middle of nowhere on another planet. But anyways, I digress. It is coming sometime this year, 2022, so keep an eye out for it. Disney Dreamlight Valley is coming to the Nintendo Switch in early access on September 6th, which has never been done before, so I'm very intrigued about how that will all work. I know that for like Friday Night Funkin', iconic game, really good, play it, it's free. Wanted to go on early access on Nintendo Switch, but they weren't allowed to, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe money talks, and so Disney is like, here's the money, go and make this early access. Nintendo's like, sure, we'll do it. Dreamlight Valley looks really good so far, and a bunch of the characters are living in this idyllic world, but there's this kind of like evil called the Forgotten or the Forgotten or whatever, and it ravages the entire world of Dreamlight Valley. You have to kind of help destroy the evil and then help the villagers, like all the characters within this game, recover their lost memories. I mean, they're all pretty old characters. Mickey Mouse, Goofy, it kind of makes sense that they have Alzheimer's at this point. Square Enix is releasing Harvestella, which is a farming sim game with like a really strong story. It is the Rune Factory that we kind of wish Rune Factory was sometimes. Even though Rune Factory is awesome and absolutely wonderful, it definitely could be elevated, and Harvestella is that game. It has a very strong narrative. In this game, you live in a very idyllic village, and this world is absolutely beautiful. It's very vibrant, but then something comes and destroys everything, and this thing is called quietus. It sucks all the color and all the life out of everything in your world. In order to kind of help save the world, I think you're gonna have to go ahead and farm, as well as defeat some bad guys and some monsters. There definitely is going to be an emphasis on fighting more so than in Rune Factory. Rune Factory has like very simple mechanics, and the gameplay is quite simple and quite repetitive sometimes. So I definitely think there's gonna be like a little bit more complexity with this game. I don't know if it's gonna be as relaxing as Rune Factory, but it's definitely gonna be a different take on the Rune Factory formula. There's a remake of Live Alive, a game that was published on the Super Famicom in 1994 and was never released outside of Japan. And we finally have it on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm super excited because the story sounds awesome. In this game, we follow multiple storylines in different timelines, and we'll kind of see like how they kind of interlace together and learn about their shared history and how they kind of interweave together. If you're into this kind of like storyline with like different timelines that interweave together, this game is for you. Persona 3, 4, and 5 are coming to the Nintendo Switch. So if you've been waiting to play it because you wanted to play it portably, or you absolutely love the series and just want to play it over again but on a handheld system, this is the best time. It is coming out soon, and I'm so excited. Each game will be sold separately, but Persona 5 Royal will be coming out very soon in October 21, 2022. Okay, so I know I've talked about all my favorite games in length and the history and everything, but I should love to know some of your favorite games that you've seen in this video, or just like any games that you'd like to see on the Nintendo Switch. Let me know in the comments, and I'd love to see you all again in the next video. So make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!